Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, everybody on my channel, they know me, Diane, and I'm joined today by Luke, and he is a local high schooler and part of a very interesting meat processing program at his high school with his FFA. And so, Luke, why don't you tell me, how did you really get started with raising cattle and getting interested in the meat market and all that good stuff?
So I originally started out showing rabbits, and it was for the 4-H, and I kind of got out of it. I wasn't keep feeling like that was enough for me, and then my brother kind of got me into actually showing cattle. He wanted a cow, and when I got out of rabbits, I'm like, now what do I do? Can't just sit around doing nothing. So I asked my mom, like, hey, what are my options for cattle? And she showed me a breeder. We looked at their auction site for a show calf, and we got a young heifer named Renee, and she was a shorthorn. And that's kind of what kickstarted the whole cattle career for me.
Okay. Well, so do you keep any cattle out here on your parents'
So
property, or what do you
yeah,
do?
we do have. So currently, we do have about 6 head of cattle. 3 of them are old retired calves, and about the other 3 are their kids. I do have another animal out where I work at, and that is what I'm going to be showing this year. She's not what I have been showing for the past couple of years. She's a different breed, and it's going to be interesting because I've never shown that kind of breed ever, and
Well,
there's a whole different process with them.
okay. So, what kind of breeds do you currently have?
So in the past, I've shown what is called the British category of cattle, and I've had Shorthorns and Herefords. And this one, I'm doing what is the American breeds of cattle, and they're mainly bred in the United States. So that group kind of goes with the Brahmans, the Brangus, and a couple other little breeds. But I'm currently showing the Brangus this year,
Okay.
and I got a nice little calf
Oh,
that's
nice.
coming up.
Are you keeping them only for showing, or?
So currently we have shown in the past. The place I'm working at, where my calf's at, they do kind of like sale. Like we have this heifer, she's a really nice breed calf, so we're gonna sell her off, and we keep some of the ones that we want to show. Out here, we do have a couple steers that are gonna go to the market, but that's also corresponding with show steers as well.
Okay. Okay. So, how does all that tie into what you do for school? So, is it something that you automatically just knew that you were going to head into the whole? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
It's
have
okay.
to say hi.
Yeah, man. We just have a little orange cat. I can't remember if that's Jeep or Queso, but it's one of them too. But yeah,
Oh,
so for our FFA program, it kind of corresponds with the school. So the school pays for our FFA initiation fees and all that. We get the jacket, kind of have to pay for that, and the school actually gives you a program to start off when you're in. So it starts off in 8th grade, in 7th and 8th grade. You can go in
nice.
there, you can get your starting, like, this is what you earn when you start FFA as a that young, but it's mostly a high school group, and where I'm at, and they give you, when you're going into freshman or just starting in the ag program, they give you like a little beginner's course. Like, this is how the FFA is going to work. This is your options. Here's all the things that you can do. These are LEDs, CDs, and all that. And I kind of hit off with the cattle and the ranching basis on them. Kind of felt more friendly to me,
Hmm.
and that's kind of where it started off. And then I started cattle as soon as I went there, and it kind of corresponded with each other to where I'm at in the meat market.
Okay. Does the school buy from local ranchers to for the meat
Yeah,
processing, or do you take care of cattle for the school, or
so the
how does that work?
school, we don't take care of. our own cattle. We don't have like area where we have cattle, and then, but we do bring in animal carcasses from ranchers who said, "Hey, I got this animal. I like this animal. I wanted it processed," or we just buy the carcasses from areas where they have been certified prior. Now, this is probably one of the only USDA certified school labs, probably the state, maybe in the country. I don't know. I haven't looked into
That's
that much
amazing,
research.
actually.
It is. It is very fun. So we've had the guy who started out come in and teach us a little bit, and we had other teachers come in and teach us. And it's just been a great experience overall, and it's awesome because I'm still living in history right now,
Right.
and it's just a great time.
I bet. I bet it's, yeah, probably fills you with a lot
Oh,
of
it's
pride.
just a lot of
Thinking,
pride
yeah.
because um, majority of the so we have students that are separated. They're like they've been in the market. They know what's going on. They know how everything runs, and they teach us the younger kids how everything runs. And they're just all around great. They know what they're doing, and it's just a lovely time there.
I bet. So, did your brother go through this too?
So my brother has gone through this. He's actually the reason why I'm in this. I said, man, that
Siblings are
looks
great
fun.
for that.
Yeah, I know. I saw him do that once. I'm like, man, that seems fun. I'm gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in and I learned, and I got to where I was at, and I'm like, I like it. I love this. This is
Excellent.
fun, and it's just a fun deal. It's
Great.
awesome because my brother went through it. I know people who went through it. It's just a great feeling for it.
Do you see this spreading across the country, do you think?
Kind of
Getting
hope it.
popular?
I wish it did because this is a great way for kids to learn a career. But people don't really think, oh, I don't want to be a butcher when I get out of high school. I want to go to college and get my degree in X, Y, or Z.
Right.
So it's kind of an overlooked, unlockable potential because I mean, many of my um, classmates say I don't really want to be a butcher when I get out of high school, but this is an option and it helps me understand what is going on. And it's kind of ruined it for a lot
Right.
of parents because like
Uh-huh.
I can't go to the supermarket and my kid who says, "No, mom, this one, you gotta get this that cut.
This
They're
cut.
missing. They marked it as the wrong thing. It's cheaper."
Oh,
I've done
man.
it with my dad, and he's like, "God, boy, come on." Yeah, but it's fun. It's awesome, and it's a very, as I said, it's an unlocked potential that
Right.
a lot of schools should take initiative of.
So, do you think that if there's more of a demand for this kind of a program, like if parents went to their kids' ISD, they might start
It,
thinking more about it?
yeah, I hope they will. A lot of ISDs will probably think of that like we can't really afford this. I'm sorry
Mm-hmm.
because it's not really cheap. I mean, we've been struggling trying to find like, all right, we need to get this thing. Oh, this thing broke. Now we gotta fix this
Sure.
because we already have all the equipment we need. It's just trying to maintain all the equipment and bring
Right.
in the carcasses and sell all of them and all that.
So,
But
this fundraisers,
so
they
we've
get.
had fundraisers, and a large portion of the sales that we get go into the market for our budget next year,
Mm-hmm.
and it also kind of helps fund our FFA. So it's also for schools who don't really want to do fundraisers, who think, oh, this is fundraisers are annoying. They're getting out of business. If you can save enough money and open up a market, and you can get a lot of people in, push out that, you will bring in a large portion of it. I mean, I remember recently we were looking through all the records and stuff, and we were like, wow, we've made a lot of money off of this. We got to
That's
keep this
great.
open. So
Yeah,
it is. I
that's so
wish it was
great.
more because it's a fun little program,
Yeah.
and sadly, FA isn't as popular as it was when that first opened up, and
Mhm.
it's kind of sad.
That is sad, and I really hope that it starts to spread. Like,
Yeah,
hopefully,
like
with more people getting to know about this kind of a program being out
yeah,
there, it might be more in demand. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
yeah.
There's more
There's
probably
probably more opportunities for other schools to like, wow, I can do this. I'm gonna do this. Let's do it.
well, and it's such a great idea for people. You know how kids, especially from my generation, we were all taught to, as soon as you graduate from high school, you're expected to go into college. And then after you graduate, you start paying off your loans and you get a career. Well, there's also a lot of trade
Yeah,
jobs
we
out
can.
there that don't need college. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars to be
Yeah,
trained up for.
and
And so,
I know a lot of kids are like, I don't really want to go to college. I'm gonna go to a trade school
mhm,
because I learned from my FFA program, and our meat market actually allows us to learn a trade without going to college,
right,
without learning all these different things. You're learning it in school as you go. And it's really fun because in order to be in there, you just need your SurfSafe certification, and you need to know what's part of the animal you're cutting into.
right. So, how do
And
you
then,
get that kind of certification?
so my class did it online. You can do it online. There are some other certifications you can do that are similar, but SurfSafe is the one you need to get, and it just goes over basic hygiene, like you need to keep this all clean so you don't get everybody sick. You wash your hands for this, like this, in order to keep everything sanitized. Here's how you sanitize. Here's how you keep everything clean. It's just all around a great program to learn
I bet.
because a lot of jobs that involve handling food demand you need to get a SurfSafe certification, and school actually paid for certification,
Great.
which is awesome because
Yeah.
I know a lot of kids who are like, I don't want to get my certification, but I need a job, so I'll probably work at McDonald's. And our school actually said, "Well, here you go, take it.
Yeah.
Just join this class, and you can take it. You're done."
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
awesome.
awesome.
That's great. So, you were talking about different equipment that you have to use and maintain with. So, what kind of equipment is just technology like anything new shown up?
So we do try and keep ourselves up to date with standard processing protocols. We do have a table saw that we use to cut through bones.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want a T-bone steak, that's what we kind of use to cut it off, and then we just get it to the people with the knives, and we just cut the extra fat off, sell it off. We do also have a meat grinder, which is quite large, and you would think it's about 4 feet tall. It's a big one, and we do a lot of sausages off of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we just rolled off some pork sausages as well. We also have a little cutting. You've seen the cutting wheels at the supermarket where you cut the ham slices of ham off.
Uh
We
huh.
have one of those for bacon and all that. We have smokers. We have mincers to make it where you can tenderize the meat better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we got a lot of equipment that is standard overall in a lot of areas I've seen.
Does it the maintenance and the cleaning of everything? That's probably a daily task.
That is a daily task. Every time and right before we end a class, we have to do a clean. We get some kids clean like the utensils, the knives, scrapers, tabletops. We got that, and we get to clean the cutting tables. We clean the table saw. We clean the meat grinder. Clean everything because we have to keep everything sanitized. And if we get it unsanitized, we lose our USDA certification.
So, with y'all's program, are there a lot of perks for customers, like special deals or?
So we do push out specials every
Mhm.
now and then. Like we got a sale on this, this, and this, but you got to get it in this package. But yeah, we just pushed out a back to school pork sale. We got ground pork, pork loins, pork ribeyes. Yeah.
Which my mom was first in line for.
Oh,
She texted me and
oh
said
yeah.
she
I
was.
texted my mom right when we were making the posters, like, "Hey, this sale's coming out. Tell all your friends."
Uh-huh.
I guess she told your mom.
Yes. And
Yeah.
yeah. And mom was we've been watching Facebook like a hawk
Oh
and
yeah. We
waiting
just
for it to
opened
open.
up,
So if somebody wants to buy a whole half cow, and they do they get like a call back and say, okay, how do you want everything processed, or do you
So
know
yeah,
that?
we
And
do call them like, hey, what cuts of meat do you want? Because there's different. There's you got the chuck, which is the front of the cow. You got the brisket, which is right underneath the chuck. You got the ribs, well, which is where the ribs, and you got the loin, which is behind the ribs, and then you got the round, which is the back of the cow.
mm-hmm.
And you got all these different parts, and you got all these different meats, muscles that you can pull out. And we do ask the customer, like, hey, what do you want? Do you want this cut? Do you want that cut? Do you want us to pull this cut out of this steak, or do you want a T-bone steak? You want a porterhouse steak? Yeah, we ask them like, hey, what do you want from?
How do you think you want to play this out in your future? Do you see yourself as a rancher more in the later years, or do you see yourself being involved somehow in the processing?
So the degree I want to get into is agribusiness. So basically, what I want to do is I want to sit there and I want to go, okay, I want to buy this calf and I want to put this much money into it. I want to push this calf out for a market. And that's kind of what I want to do because you can see like bring this calf in, bring this calf in, bring this calf in, let's grow them up,
Mm-hmm.
ship them off to market, and then they'll get sold off. Like this company wants to buy it, they'll go it, and they'll take it and all that. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. I want to be between there. I want to be the guy bringing a calf off a ranch and
Right.
pushing it out towards the market.
I think the other kids in your program, are they wanting to do kind of the same thing, kind of go along the same lines of taking cattle to market, or
No, I actually one of the classmates I have, he wanted to be an ag engineer, which basically means he just designs like this is what I kind of think would work, or this would work. But he wanted to be an ag engineer, and I don't think many of the kids, because this is just an option. Like I don't really want to be in school doing that, so I'm just gonna learn something that might be useful.
are there any misconceptions about raising
There's a lot of
cattle or
misconceptions.
about the meat processing program in particular that you want to get clarified?
Yeah, so factory farms, that's probably going to be like one of the biggest ones you'll hear. Is there factory farms? Yes, but there's makes up a small percentage, and most of the factory farms that you would see are actually feedlots. They're bringing in cattle, they're fattening them up to push out towards a processing plant. And another way is humanely putting down an animal. In the past, it's just been a guy with a sledgehammer whacking him on the head, and that has been deemed inhumane.
Mm-hmm.
Been banned. If anybody does it, they're getting shut down, arrested. We humanely put them out down using a humane mechanism, which is a stunner. We put it on the head, on the top of their head. We make sure the animal is calm, and with the push button, they are humanely killed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with cattle. For pork, I think it's the same thing, and for lamb, it's an electric shock that will
Mm-hmm.
humanely put them down. No, this is all humanely processed. This is how this will work. We've done research on it all.
The animal is not
The
stressed.
animal is not at all stressed. The animal is calm. If it is stressed, you will lose a large portion. We've had done research to see if we keep the animal calm, we get a good yield, and we keep the animal calm, we have a good life.
Mm-hmm.
And um, the other thing I want to touch on is grass-fed feeding animals. Is it a good way to feed animals? Possibly. I prefer not to do it because it takes a lot longer to get the animal to the weight you want it,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't really like how the fat comes out because it comes out
Oh, really?
It it does. That's like one of the first things we learn. Like, so there's two different types. There's grain and there's grass, and then the grass looks ugly and the grain looks nice and white.
And you also have to take into effect, like we're going through a bad drought
Yes, we
right
are also
now.
going through a drought, so it would be a lot easier to bring in a grain-based feed
Mm-hmm.
than it is to just feed an animal off grain.
I think we're done. Do you have any other questions that might come up?
You say you have your calf at another ranch, right?
Yeah, so I do have my calf at another ranch. That calf was born there. Her mom was born there, and we just kind of think it would be easier because I've never worked with this breed of cattle, so I had no idea what it was. And I said, look, if I work for you and keep my calf here, would it be all right if you just show me what to do with this animal? He's like, yeah, no problem.
Who knows? Well, I think we'll end here if unless there's anything else that you wanted to touch on.
There's not really much I
Okay.
can
Well,
think of.
do you want to go out and take a look at Renee?
Yes.
or-
She's way out in the back.
Oh,
hasn't
is
shown up.
she?
Yeah.
Do you have anybody close by?
Yeah, we can hop in a truck.
Okay.
Drive out.
I want to send out a big thank you to Luke and his parents, Kathy and Walter. I really enjoyed this interview and I learned a lot. Walter mentioned that we can come back sometime and go over the showing aspect of raising cattle, which I would love to do. Comment below to let me know what questions I can ask them next time. I also wanted to mention the name of the high school so you can order something or maybe even donate to the FFA if it is welcome. It is Florence High School in Florence, Texas. I will add a link to their Facebook page and their phone number below. I was extremely impressed with this young man and his knowledge, and I have a lot of confidence and hope in the next generation of meat producers. Also, I urge you to check with your local Future Farmers of America groups to see if there is a program close to you that you can help support. And if not, maybe you can urge them to try to get one started. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you in the next video.